Welcome everyone to today's mawAidha Sessions event. My name is Alfred Ongere. I am the team lead for AI Kenya. I am going now to allow Carol Mushemi from the AI Kenya events team to take us through the introductory section. So Carol, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much, Alfred. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of mawAidha Sessions. My name is Carol Mushemi. I am a volunteer for AI Kenya, and I am also a data scientist at a startup company, Adalab Africa, based in Nairobi, Kenya. We say the future is tomorrow. However, I tend to believe the future is today. The future is now. The future is me. The future is you. The future is younger us. In this talk, Dr. Wilfred Odoyo will speak on his experience while leading the team developing Taiki, his career journey, and advice to AI practitioners and enthusiasts. Taiki is an AI robot companion for kids that talks, listens, thinks, and reasons to plan and solve tasks. mawAidha is Swahili for advice and counsel. Here is a photo from our first episode of the mawAidha series that we had on the 4th of March 2020. In this series, we feature experienced industry experts and researchers. Did you spot yourself in the previous scene? In this session, in the first session, we had Geoffrey Siwo, who joined us and discussed the potential for AI combined with human intelligence at a global scale as a means of accelerating democratizing scientific research, especially in medicine. Feel free to be social with us through tweeting. You can tweet our speaker for the day at ODY21CT, at AI Brain Inc., which is the company that he works for, and also, of course, at AI Kenya 1. You can use the hashtags below, hashtag AI Kenya, mawAidha Sessions, Conversational AI, or hashtag robotics, or any other hashtag that you feel comfortable in using. AI Kenya is a community of AI practitioners and enthusiasts. The community comes together on meetups and physical events. We also come together on our online platforms. We also have a consultancy arm that offers services in how companies can incorporate and embrace AI. For more information, visit us on www.kenya.ai, where you can access learning materials of all levels of expertise, upcoming events, blogs and videos, interesting stuff in the field of AI, as well as summaries of our previous events. If you're looking for a job opportunity, feel free to check our opportunities tab for vacant positions. We've also had amazing guests on our AI Kenya podcast, Some of them include Mike Cook. Mike Cook, as some of you may know him, he is the senior manager in Cognizant's Center for the Future of Work in EMEA. He brings to perspective why AI is the future of work. We also had the honor of hosting Selina Lee, the CEO and founder of Zindi Africa. She expounds on the power of crowdsourcing data science solutions to African problems. Ali Salim Jr. and Megan Allen from Inspired Ideas, a company based in Tanzania, who graced our podcast to unpack the process of building Dr. Elsa, an AI-powered digital assistant for health workers, and also discuss the synthetic patient generation and challenges faced in building Dr. Elsa on part 2 of the podcast series. You can access our podcast material in video version on our Facebook page at AI Kenya and YouTube AI Kenya. You can also access our audio versions through platforms that distribute podcasts, any platform that is near you. We urge you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and interact with our content. You can also interact with us on Telegram, Facebook, and Meetup. Search AI Kenya and click on the join button. Here are a few announcements. We have monthly newsletters, and you can view the latest issue from the link on the season. In our monthly newsletter, you get to access interesting topics around AI, and also you can also directly access some of the job opportunities, recent job opportunities that have been listed. Over to you, Alfred.
Yeah, thank you, Mushemi, for handling the introductory section for today's event. So today's event, we invited a guest to take us through robotics and conversational AI, and he will be sharing majorly on how to build AI products the right way and some best practices to go along with it. So at this particular point, I would like to urge you during the presentation, you can use Slido to ask questions as the speaker is presenting. In the YouTube description section, we have shared a URL to the Slido site, which is also on screen as you can see. And you will use the code AIK event as the event code for this particular event. And once you join that event, you can start asking questions and upvoting other people's questions that other people might be asking. So feel free to ask questions around today's topic. So it's that high time now. We have to invite our speaker to take the stage. Dr. Wilfred, are you there? Yeah, just unmute your mic.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So you can proceed to share your screen, then you can continue with your presentation.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you enable me to share the screen first? Oh, thank you. Enable me to share the screen, please, Mr. Alfred.
Okay, let me do that.
it says the host has disabled the attendee screen sharing.
Let me check that. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, you can try now. All good?
Yeah. Did my screen share? Can everybody see my screen?
Not yet,
Not
but
yet.
let's some time.
Can you
Yes.
now see?
Yeah, just okay. Yeah, we can see your screen, but it looks like we are in an infinite loop.
Oh no.
What's happening?
Something must be.
It might be because it's recording. But you can just go ahead to share the screen where you're presenting from the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Yeah, from Keynote, yes. That should be the screen.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending. I'm going to just introduce myself. I think the first speaker gave a very elaborate introduction, and I agree. This is just a session to to listen to what I have, and also to listen to what you have done. All through, it is just like she said, it's a mawAidha kind of session. So I ask you to follow along with me. I am a Kenyan based in the Republic of Korea, that is South Korea. I've been here for quite a while. I went most part of my school here, and now I can be able to maybe give this kind of session for us to either learn something from it and see what can be done. Just let me remove this here. Okay, so I come from Kenya, Migori County, of course, born in 1974. My KCP is Get Primary School. If maybe some of the followers may be interested in knowing where I went to school. My secondary school is at Dropogi High School, and I've done computer engineering here in Korea at a school called Chosun University. And also I attended the same graduate school of Chosun. So all my school, most of my school life has been here in Korea or South Korea. I've did my master's back in 2007 when I graduated, and joined the PhD immediately. So the two papers you can see, I wrote just a simple topic, document content classification, and also human recognition. I've worked since 2012 when I graduated my PhD. I joined a company here called CrossAt as a senior researcher on computer vision, even though you will learn later that CrossAt is actually a security, online security company. So they do maybe PKI, if some people may be familiar with it, the public key infrastructure, some blockchain technology, code signing, digital certificates, and that is where I started working, and then joined AI Brain. Technically, the two companies with the same CEO. So in my second company, which is AI Brain, I also worked as a researcher and held different positions as a director in global AI business, technical, director in the AI lab, and also as at now working for the same company as a product manager. So I do product management. All in all, I've worked for 4 years, and I've written down here 2020. So I will explain why until 2020, probably this is the year of the change. So how did I, transfer from robotics? I mean, from this company to robotics. Of course, I was hired in the line of business. The company wanted to expand and see if they could be able to export, the technology back home in Africa. And we tried to bid for the PKI, infrastructure of Kenya, and we failed as a company. And then I was working in the AI lab for research, and then I was transferred into AI Brain. That is the second company. So this is what we are going to talk about, AI. I'm told, and I know that there are so many people here who could be attending without actually knowing what AI is. AI stands for artificial intelligence, especially when you are familiar with the computer, maybe science major. It's in a general term, just being able to develop that machine to mimic or to do things that human beings would be able to do naturally, but now the computers are trying to accomplish those kind of things. Like usually you as a human being, you can be able to reason, plan, solve problems, think about it, comprehend a lot of even complex ideas. You're able to learn very fast, and also, with time, you have all this experience. And that kind of general capability, if the mental capability, if it can be transferred into the computers, then we call it an AI. You will learn later that there are various types of AI. There's the narrow AI, then there's the general intelligence, and then the super intelligence. I will be able to explain later, or if you have any question, you can just maybe ask. I'm gonna give you just an example of what an AI agent can be able to do. This is a stacking problem. You have a goal state that is probably in your mind, depending on what kind of learning or a process you want to go through. You have the goal state already. You want to arrange these blocks the way they are in the first picture. The second one is the agent, maybe probably a robot or just an autonomous kind of vehicle working at a warehouse and needs to arrange. These are the boxes that are not, at the goal state kind of status. So you will need, initial state, the state description, what has to be done in a set of valid operations, like, D has to be at the bottom, and then you need the C has this kind of color, or it has this kind of letter. And then the agent, which is not human, can be able to, use all the artificial intelligent kind of methods to be able to identify the blocks. So here you will use maybe colors or images, pattern, recognition, listening to some kind of sound or texture, and be able to solve this kind of problem. So this is just an example of AI solving a problem. And we have so many of these AI in our life. So in the education, social media, and the Instagram, we have marketing softwares. Sometimes you wonder how a marketing company knows what exactly you are doing, or what kind of products they need to produce at a particular time. And the self-driving cars, which is a very big topic right now, the autonomous vehicles, you know, editing tools. You try to type something on Google, it already gives you, your next word, and actually you just enter. How did it get into your mind? There's some kind of AI, algorithm behind that, in banking and all those others. So virtually, we have AI in our life, almost everything. Um, it is not supposed to replace the human intelligence, but at least in some areas where these AIs are very good, they just augment the intelligence that we have. Um, Sorry for not, being technical in the beginning, but it is necessary that you understand what our company does and the core technology that we develop. We call it AI core, which means adaptive, interactive, cognitive reasoning engine. We're trying to develop, a fully, automated system that can reason from the beginning to the end, trying to mimic, as I said, the human kind of cognition process of problem solving, learning, and memory. So you can see that this is what we have as an AI core, and it has what we call the memory graph, which actually organizes all your experiences, both the episodic and the semantic memory, that you have the meaning, and also over time. It is it is more than just semantic networks. Like Google, in Google Graph, knowledge graph, you find information based on how the knowledge is related with the others, and which are kind of networks you can access them from. And also in Facebook, you're my friend, and then you're my friend's friend. So there comes a time when even Facebook gives you some kind of suggestions based on just the social interactions you have with your friends, or the places you visit, or some kind of information has to be there. But with the memory graph, it is more of personal. So we want to put this into the agent or a robot, to be able to also have that natural conversation with the human being. For those who are a little bit technical, this is a whole process that I am showing right now. From the speech recognition, when I speak, how does the machine, how does the robot understand or take in, take in what I am talking about? And then if it understood it, then how does it break it down? That is natural language understanding. We need to know what are the parts of the speech. What is it? Is it talking about a noun, a thing, an entity, such kind of things? And then we have the dialogue manager that now manages all this after you have them in the memory. If you have an incoming kind of question that was already solved before by the robot, it is used easily, or it can be solved easily. And if it is a new one, then the dialogue manager can also be able to process based on the ends of this the system, using the planner, discovering if there is a new problem, or going into the working memory? Is it something that we have already had? And also using the external ontologies. You could have maybe WordNet, or you have your own other ontology that can be used. And then we have the two last parts of the natural language generation. Now, after having all this information you have talked about, then put it into a way that you can either understand, or the machine can also be able to understand it, and then generate or have an execution. So that is, I think, this is the last maybe technical slide that I'm going to talk about. It is just that, a new agent that does not have any kind of memory or any kind of information starts from, from zero, but it has some kind of uh, innate reasoner. Just like a baby is born, of course, they don't know so many things, but there's some things that they're born with. So you have some original, innate, given information. So such kind of information is where you need to draw them from what I call here the external ontologies, which are already there. You don't need to learn them. And then, yeah, you can be able to develop a conversational, agent, an agent that can reason, gives you, uh, a belief or a goal, like the end goal. Like a kid doesn't know exactly what they want, but internally, if they're hungry, they will actually, tell you, either by crying or maybe moving their hands. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of information about this AI robot. Why do we have why do we try to give the kids an AI robot? Kids these days, and you will agree with me that they know a lot of technology, using a smartphone, accessing a lot of games, or a lot of information, or sharing their life and everything. So in this kind of situation, you also need to develop some kind of a toy, not a toy, but some kind of education, or entertainment thing, that not only they can waste their time, but while they are using it and operating it, they have some kind of advantage. They learn with it. So this robot helps, to link the uh, the AI and the robot, so the kids can be able to know the difference. Teaching the robots to reason, plan, solve some kind of problem, think, comprehend, and learn. The kids can be able to play with this taiki in that kind of manner, because we have put a lot of features that depict that this kind of robot is smart, and also basic programming kind of skills. Just by using taiki, the kids, we have put uh, an application called build your own intelligence. So the kids can be able to know what is an event, what is an action, when they push a light, when they touch the eye, or when they turn on the camera and the camera looks at their face, what happens, So basic programming skills can be learned in this way. And of course, the hands-on experience with the robot, like Taiki, making uh, the kids or even those agents look more intelligent. Of course, there are other things, how technology work, what it does, all those are covered while the kids are using this kind of robot. Well, we have had some solutions. We have had solutions and products from the technologies we produce here at AI Brain. And one of them, I think if you see, um, if you go into YouTube and type Taiki, the AI learning robot, you can be able to watch this video and watch many other videos and see how it actually works and what it should be able to do. You know, there are multi players. You can play together, maybe two people, different Taikis, who can train his or her own Taiki to be the best, whose Taiki understands the owner better, just by talking and learning. Like I said, it has some kind of memory, so it learns incrementally. We have some other solutions that we're trying to develop, especially if you saw maybe in the promotion of this discussion, there was some robot that I was talking to, trying to make some humanoid with an AI, and having all these technology of of vision and natural language processing to be able to be integrated with it. And also for research and development in the institutions, we are also developing, parts of the robots. How can a robot be able to learn? And that is when now machine learning and deep learning comes in, and reinforcement learning, how a robot can learn by itself, falling and standing up or making mistakes, or of course with the guidance with the developer. So those are some of the things that we do. This is one of the experience that I wanted to share, because I joined the company in the year 2012 until now, and I happened to I grew really fast because of the CEO giving a lot of responsibilities, and of course working with other team. I could be able to lead them in many products or many projects. And the product actually begins from the concept. With Taiki, it began from what kind of product do you want? You want to produce an intelligent robot for kids, and then you have that idea, the vision. You validate it with the customers. You go out there, maybe you talk to people, and then from there you have some kind of concept, document. And with that, now, if you have that document, you come now. What do you need? Softwares to be able to go into it. The hardware development. How does the hardware and the software communicate? The firmware, and then the app development. The things that actually, the features that engage the kids in playing with this kind of robot. Then, of course, manufacturing is also there. Sales and marketing. So I worked with like the whole company, a very big team, and it is not easy, because you're working with a team that needs to satisfy the goals of the owner or the CEO, and has to satisfy the market, has to meet the time, doesn't have to go beyond the budget that is required, and if doesn't have to lag behind the schedule. All this is the work of a product manager. So bridging that gap. Actually, sometimes the CEO would talk, but then you have to be the middleman here, who understands what the CEO wants, and see how you can integrate it with the market, or with other senior managers. You're working together to be able to produce a product. If you watch some of these videos, you'll see me a lot. It's not because I am the only person there, but there's just you have to be involved even in the QA and the QC, traveling to the manufacturer, signing contracts, negotiations, making all these collaterals together with the sales team, because you have to understand the product much better. I wish we could have a live, demo of some time, not only with Taiki, but also with other robots. So I know many people would be having a lot of questions, especially on this slide. But as the moderator already indicated, you can be able to tweet me or send an email. I would be able to respond. The AI products and solution direction. AI is a really, is a buzzword, not only a buzz, but it has become, part and parcel of our life. And that the companies we work for, the government, that is controlling us, the schools that whatever we learn, at least now AI has become the center. So to bring AI into companies and governments, I think this is where all the developers, all the AI, experts are taking this direction to create, intelligent applications everywhere, redefining existing applications in your own company, or just creating a new from scratch if you don't have any AI applications within your jurisdiction or within your company. Most of the companies who have seen the benefits, they also try to optimize, the business processes in order for them to make, more money. There is the issue of empowering, employees, more so, the product managers and everybody they're working with, through AI. There's some things that the softwares or applications can really do much better. And every employee of that is the right word. Every employee of the company needs to at least have some basic knowledge of AI, how they can consume it within their workplace, create a self-service AI and some kind of auto ML. Some of these things have already been given or hosted AI services with the Amazon, with the IBM, even Facebook is doing the same. So you can empower the people, and I think this is why this also attracted people to be able to listen to where does AI take us. In research areas, there are a lot of AI technologies right now. The deep fakes, the commercial deep fakes. Deep fake is not a bad term. If you say deep fake, some people may think you just want to con. Of course, there are those people who con. But how about developing a program where I could be giving you this talk based on the script, but you're seeing me live. It is my body, it is my voice, it is my facial expression and movements. That is still fake, but it is a commercial one, maybe for business. So it could be a good thing. All these technologies that researchers are really working hard to produce are actually consumer driven. It is what they want that drives the AI. So AI is more of integrative. There is no one solution that you'll say, okay, now this vision, application can solve everything. But just like the human body or the human self, you have all the senses, and all these senses need to work together. in order for you to be in harmony. So this is where the AI excels. I indicated um, that there is an actual artificial narrow intelligence, that is weak AI, what we are used to, things without any reason. There is artificial intelligence, general intelligence, strong AI to the human level. And there is the artificial super intelligence where, most of these machines can be just a little, smarter than human beings because they can do so much computations beyond the human capability. And we think maybe in future, those kind of machines can be able to augment our own intelligence. So Taiki has actually in the year 2014 got an award from the CES, one of the biggest consumer electronic shows, the International CES Innovations Design and Engineering Award in 2014. Since then, it has already been developed. It is in the market. You can find it in Amazon and also in other Asian countries, China and Korea. It is in the shops. Most important, for a product manager or for any business minded person or for anything new you want to do, you'll have to identify, the market for the product, which we originally did. They build the right products, features that solve the customer needs. Because in Asia, we started with English, NLP, because most kids, English is not the original or native language here. So by playing with this kind of toy, you put some kind of, English and programming and gaming. Yeah, and that was, a feature that we thought would, satisfy the need, and tested the correct methods for acquiring and converting, customers. Of course, that is now within sales and marketing, and then deploy the right resources to scale the business so that you not just supply one and disappear, but supply many and see how you can be able to continue being in the business. I will skip this slide because I think I've talked about it a lot. It's about the customer development, where you pivot or you do iteratively the discovery and the customer validation many times before you actually move to the next level of creating, a company. Is not only for startups, but also even for businesses who are established who want to, deploy some kind of new product. The other experiences that I've had with Taiki, the first one you can see, and maybe I will send this link. We had to do some kind of crowdfunding with a Kickstarter, where you pitch the idea of what you want to achieve within a particular time period, and give it a value to the community of supporters who want to support you in order for you to develop this kind of product. It was successfully done, and yeah, you can find that. So I was a lead also in this one. We have had a lot of shows. I've already mentioned CES. This is happens in the US, Las Vegas mostly. The RoboWorld happens here in Korea every year. So you go and you pitch, you showcase, and people buy. It's also some kind of marketing and new technologies in the market. The other part is education, where we provide AI school to either teachers to go teach their kids, I mean their students back in school, or we send at least a lecturer to go themselves and teach. Of course, the students would need to have Taiki and a cell phone, which is the brain of this robot, where you install the program and then work with it. Others are just working with the St. Gallen AI Experience City project. I was one of the lead people, where they want to experience the AI within the city, learn more about AI, and also practice it within the city. So when you see a robot walking within the city, you don't worry. You already know it. What is next for me? After 8 years of working in this special company, I've seen that there's a lot of opportunities, especially in technology, where innovations can be able to take place. There are a lot of innovations coming up, either different sectors in agriculture, in maybe just doing businesses, how even in governance, how we can have some solutions to govern us better. So I think this is a very interesting topic that I would want to follow moving forward. Or just business, data kind of, sharing or mining, business advertisements, how you receive, business leads. And also in education, this is because there is lack of expertise also in this area of AI. Of course, some AI products have become very, very popular, and people are taking crash kind of courses in order for them to get a job or help themselves out. But we need expertise or experts in this area. So education is very very important. So here, the first picture is just about the hands-on experience. This is about the education of AI and robotics. The second one, talking about the conversational AI. I know probably we have some conversational AIs in Swahili. Maybe people back at home can be able to give us more information on this one. But maybe it is only text based, or click this button and then you get this kind of answer. But conversational AI has got a lot and lots of advantages, taking care of your business 24 hours, or being at the front desk, or a lot of stuff. So I think having worked in this field of natural language processing, I think I would want to do this moving forward. The blockchain technology is also another thing that it's very interesting, especially where authenticity and auditability is required. You want to move forward here, using data science for helping the decision makers to quickly know what they want to do, what they want to say, quickly prototype some kind of decision or simulation. This is also very interesting that I would want to be involved in moving forward. Or just have some e-commerce mobile platform for money. Call to action for AI Kenya community. I think I learned very early when I came to Korea that learning institutions are very, very important, to work together, collaborate with the government and companies and private individuals who want, to implement some things for the society. So if you look into some of my early maybe papers, you'd find that maybe I worked on maybe car number plate recognition projects or some such kind of projects. I was introduced into it, even though I was still very new, but the government of Korea, or the local government, worked with our lab within the institution that I went to. And we could be able to at least, participate and know what is not only, academics, but also industrial, or some things that are actually needed out there. So these are things that needs to be done. AI education through meetups, conferences, the journals, the collection of AI trends and implementable technologies, for greater good. This is a good thing to do. And I saw AI Kenya is trying to do some kind of mentorship programs especially for those who have the expertise in this. I think it's a good thing to do moving forward. I know I don't have much time. It's almost 3 in the morning this side, so I will beg to stop here and maybe take a few questions if there are, and then maybe you'd let me rest, as you also have dinner and have a rest. Otherwise, this is the company that I work for. Main areas: robotics, the AI core, which I explained, the memory graph as a technology, and also some solutions that we have. We have our headquarter office in the US, Menlo Park, that is in California. We have where I work right now is in Seoul, the Asia Pacific office, and also we have in Europe we have German office. We have a Chinese office, but I think it's not included here. We have yeah, that could be the end of my presentation. Let me know if there are other questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Wilfred, for that great presentation. At this particular point, I would like to urge the attendees to please, if they have any interesting conversations that they would like to share that are related to the event, that they can tweet on these particular handles. And then in terms of the questions, we were using Slido to ask questions to the speaker, but if you are unable to use that, you can still use the YouTube chat section. So at this particular point, I would like to hand over the session to Wanjiku Masharia to share some of the questions that attendees have for Dr. Wilfred.
Hi, everyone. So I'll go straight into the questions. One of the questions was, what inspired the type that was finally settled for in terms of the Taiki AI robot, the vehicle type, that is?
Okay. Yes, we had actually 3 different types of prototypes originally. I joined. When I joined, I already found that they did some original designs. So we had a sports car, and then we had some bulldozer car, and then this white one, which we call classic. In the spirit of taking care of all the children, the girl child and the boy child, the bulldozer was kind of more of boyish. And also the sports Our young ladies, of course, they like it, but I think at the market research, most people said yes, it's okay, it looks good, but still, it is more of a boy toy than ladies. But we wanted to consider everybody. So the classic, the boys like to play with the cars and the toys, and it looks nice with our target group. That was age 7 plus. That means eight and above, um, and also the production cost played some kind of influence. When you make hardware, the design takes a lot of money, and then there's the molding part of it. Then you have to mold so many different parts. It is a market that you don't just want to expand immediately, become really huge, because it might also, flop. So yeah, those are the kind of maybe things that influence us to settle on classic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that response. Next question was, what was the main interesting observation that you observed while using Taiki with the kids?
The main observation on kids using Taiki, yeah, that is that's very interesting, because kids like things that they touch, and it reacts to them, or they model it according to the way they want. With Taiki, of course, physically they cannot do so much of modeling, but just the fact that they can use the phone as the brain, and um, be able to program it and talk to it, like come here, or go back, turn around, or ask things like how is the weather in Nairobi, or give them a story. So the thing that really caught most kids is the fact that they can actually talk to it. And apart from that, we also put some other applications by which they can program it to either move, or do some kind of activities. We have the movements, we have the lights, we have an avatar where you touch different parts. Um, you can program it to tell you, if you touch my eye, you cry, or make some crazy sound, or say no. If I touch your cheek, you say, oh, thank you, or something like that. So all these aspects of the robot being able to feel you, or to listen to you, or to react to some of your activities. I think this the kids really caught their attention and their eyes. Of course, there are the downsides of this small. They don't have a long time to play with it. They get bored a little bit faster, because we realize we did not put as many games as the kids want to use. So yeah, I think those are some of the features that made the kids to be able to, yeah.
Okay, that's quite an interesting observation. So the other thing that most people asked was about the computer vision using satellite imagery. From your experience in Korea,
Yes.
would that be applicable in Kenya? Are there any opportunities for applying computer vision using satellite imagery?
Yes, I would say yes, because of the research and maybe some of the applications that we already see going on. And I think Kenya is not exceptional. We have a space. I think now we have some kind of satellite, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, computer vision can be applied.
Okay, great. So moving on to the next question. Would you recommend coming up with AI models from scratch or using already existing models?
Wow, that is a good question, because then it depends on what you want to do. Usually they say you cannot or you should not reinvent the wheel, which is already invented and running. So I would say that if it is a unique market or unique area that requires you to require some kind of domain specific instructions or data or something that is not available, then starting from scratch will give you the opportunity to be able to uh, take everything by yourself, capability to build almost any kind of application when you start from scratch. um, so it depends with your area of what you want to do. If it is something that is already in the market and you just want to improve, then you better go with the models that are there. Of course, you need some kind of tuning or fine tuning it, but at least you have a base to start from. So um, if I would answer your question in another way, if I wanted to do like a Swahili kind of chatbot or a natural language understanding chatbot of Swahili, I think starting from scratch would be better, because not all these services available out there. They don't have that understanding of Swahili as it is. So I would start from scratch. But if it is just an area that you usually, yeah, it's already out there, use the available models.
Okay. The next question was, does all the processing from Taiki AI happen on the smartphone, or is part of the processing done on the cloud? If so, which tasks are these?
Yes. Part of it is done on the cloud, especially when you're connecting to the AI core. The AI core, we have it hosted in one of the the cloud services. So the others, like controlling the robot, programming it, yeah, changing whatever the avatars on your phone, all those are on the phone. But when you want now to connect, because some of these things use other APIs, like a weather API or a geographical kind of position APIs, or time. It does not only use the time at present, but it uses the time. Also, you can ask, what time is it in Kenya? I'm in Korea, but it still needs to access, the internet, and that has to be, processed somehow in the cloud. Is that satisfactory?
Yeah, I think it does answer the question. Thank you very much for that. So there was one more question from Edward who wanted to know what you think about deep reinforcement learning in robotics, the usage of it in robotics.
The deep reinforcement, well, in one of our projects, maybe I didn't share it, but a very small robot for education, we call it Quattro. We try to use, the reinforcement learning to teach it when, like, autonomously to detect whether there is an obstacle so that it can stop or not. It is for research purposes and maybe education and small time jobs. I think the research can really move very fast because we already have it working. For industrial kind of robots, I think that is why we cannot see a lot of autonomous vehicles being manufactured and spread out there. But that is one of the technologies that they are working on. To be able to adapt autonomously and learn to take some kind of action by themselves. So I think that is the only way that they will have to learn. So yes, it is possible if you're taking that line of research.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you for that. So one more question was, how does a robot learn nonverbal communication?
One more time. How does a robot learn?
Nonverbal communication.
Non-verbal communication.
Yes.
Yeah, we have sensors. We have sensors that can be used as an input to the robots to react to, or we have just pure, programming. You just program them according to what the domain expert explains. So they cannot learn, but they react to what they have already been programmed to do. So I wouldn't call that learning. It is just accomplishing, some kind of tasks that are already, been told for it to do.
Okay. Thank you for the response. Another question was, in terms of functionality, what is the difference between general AI and superintelligence?
In terms of the general intelligence is like, I said, this is a human level kind of intelligence. The human is very, very intelligent and does a lot of things. There's a lot of computations that we can do within a matter of seconds. But there are some that we cannot do within, the shortest time possible. It will take us, so many years, maybe to calculate some kind of, mathematics or computation, or a long time. But a super kind of intelligence is it's an agent that is maybe trying to surpass human intelligence, not only in one area, or in one specific area, but in many many other aspects. So the big difference here, I think, would be the processing power, the ability to be able to combine so many resources together. Human beings, yes, we are very intelligent, but we're just an individual. If all our minds were put together, probably we would do the same thing, or we'd think the same way, but still the speed we would be lagging behind. So general intelligence, I would say, is one human being kind of intelligence trying to solve a problem, and a super intelligence is like one machine that encompass so many of those general intelligence. So it is much more powerful.
Okay. Thank you very much. So one more question is, how is working in Korea different from working in Kenya, especially in the AI industry? Do you face the same challenges, or are there advanced challenges?
Yeah, it's funny because I've not worked on the AI in Kenya. But if I, yeah, because I talk with maybe colleagues here and there, I would say that working in Korea, I think has taught me a lot. There are teams that really work together. They agree on many things. There is a the the leader or the CEO understands, gives a lot of direction, support. Um, I think all these our fellow Kenyans are also maybe experiencing the same. It's just that I think we are at a different level of technology, advancement. Here, a computer would not be a problem. Uh, anything you want for the purposes of research, it's given. Um, the company, they know you need your personal development fund, so that is also given. Um, yeah, so it is just that they make you much more comfortable to be able for you to be able to do what you want to do, for the development of the company, and for the company to have some results from your side. So there's a lot of that support, as I would say. I wouldn't compare Kenya because I haven't worked so much, but if you wanted to hear from Korea, yes. They have a good working environment.
Yeah, that's very nice to hear. Support is everything when you are implementing projects. So, one more question is there an Amazon link where one can purchase the Taiki robot, or where can we purchase the robot from?
Yeah, I didn't include that in the slide, but if you go to Amazon and you type Taiki AI robot, let me see. Yeah, Taiki AI robot, then you should be able to find it. Or some of the from our website, I think also you can find a link. Either those who are in China, well, we have it in the market there. Those who are in Korea, yes, we have it here. Those who are in the US, you can also get it. And those from international, I think Amazon is the best place to buy Taiki. I will put a link on my Twitter after this.
Well, yeah, we can share that also with the members and it will be easy for
Yes.
them to access it.
Oh, yes.
So we are almost winding up. 3 more questions to go. So another quick question is that you seem to be very successful in AI. What are some of the foundations we need to establish to become impactful AI practitioners?
Well, successful, I'm not sure. Maybe because I know there's so many people who have the same kind of stories. I was lucky that my story was aired in Kenya through Chams Media, that is Daring Abroad. But basically, I think for all the computer, science major, it's very easy. It's very easy for them because they already have some kind of basic foundation, the basic subjects to cover, um, and that is all. That is all you need. And then maybe if you have your first degree, a bachelor's degree, and you can be able now to focus more, or even while you're having your degree, you can choose an area where you want to work on, because robotics, AI is really big. You know, robotics and AI is really big. If you only go to robotics, you might be able to just focus on making one hand. And if you put all your energy into making a hand of a robot, maybe it will be the hand of the biggest robot in the world. In AI, you could be in blockchain, or you could be in natural language processing, computer vision, just like one of the participants asked. You have all this, so you can look for the basic, the beginning point on understanding what you want to do within this field, so that when opportunity comes, like you find um, a scholarship, or you can sponsor yourself, then you know exactly what you want to do. But it is the AI is becoming very popular, and there are just some other applications that people might can learn and use them, to have the results that seem like AI. Those ones also, if you really don't want to study deep basics and understand every AI, then look for those applications. Maybe Power BI. What does it do? How can I use it in my business? Those ones you can be able to do. But for those who really need proper foundation, you need basic computer subjects. Programming is key.
Okay, follow up on that. What would be the direction to direct someone who would want to build algorithms? Where should they start, and what would they mainly be focusing on?
Building algorithms. I mean, I don't know whether we have some computer science viewers, but that is a subject in itself that people study from the undergrad, But if you if you want to change your major, I particularly don't have where to direct you right now, because I wasn't prepared for that. But just a simple search on what you want to do. Start with the programming languages, especially in maybe Python, because then Python has a lot of modules that would would give you an easy work, instead of calculating calculus into degrees. It will give you, some kind of function that you just call. But after that, then you also need to have do some effort to know exactly what is happening beyond just calling this kind of function, or what this function means, or how does it operate. If Yeah, I think mostly I can be able to guide you better if I put my thoughts right into what you want. Uh, I ask the person who asked the question to contact me maybe directly. I can be able to give some links and recommendations on how to go about it.
Okay, sure. I'll let them know.
Mm.
The final question now. So
Yes.
it's more of a leadership question. So how are you able to lead, navigate, and get results from different organization functions and external stakeholders as a foreigner?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes leadership is not easy, but leadership is about building relations and being open, truthful, and not going behind your either the people you lead back, or talking, bad mouthing them with the boss, or them, but nothing boss with with them, because you need results. And most of the discussions, especially on the project, they take place openly on the table. So when I lead, I focus on to bringing results. We are in the same company. We have the same lunch. We can even go out social places together. But then when it comes to giving results, or me being the leader, you have to be very strict. Um, and also, uh, you are not alone. You're not an island. So sometimes you find that you are lacking in either presentation format, or how you can be able to guide the people using different types of applications. You have to ask. You have to meet people who are doing the same job like you. You share your experience. They share the experience with you, and you become you become better by and by. I'm not somebody who understands on everything in the robotics, but or firmware. I don't develop, or hardware. But there are people who do that. There are terms that they use, the contract signing, visiting, different countries or different companies, So it is just, the understanding, the talking, the sharing, and a little bit of your own research in order for you, to be able to lead. Otherwise, it is not easy when the CEO or the owner of the project in front of everybody will tell you, why is this not done? You're not doing it, but you are the person responsible. So you always have to be, very, very strict in this kind of situation. So mix it with a little bit of social interaction, talking, open, and you will make it.
Thank you very much. So basically be a holistic individual, have all the aspects going on.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. This brings us to the end of the Q&A questions session. Sorry, so I'll hand it over to Alfred.
Okay, thank you, Onjiku, for leading that session. Now, I would like to, first of all, just thank Dr. Wilfred for sparing his time. It's almost morning on his end. I believe it's around 4 a.m. on his end, but he sacrificed his time to talk to us today. So thank you very much, Dr. Wilfred, for that. And I think at this point, we can release you so that you can go and rest. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I thank everybody who came and watched. I hope we can have more of these sessions in the future. My time is your time, so I know I did not miss sleep, but I did something. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. So just to finish up on our end, I would like to urge community members and those watching, if you would like to be the next speaker in our next event, whether it's a training, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a show and tell, or whether it's a technical training, please go ahead and apply on our website. When you navigate to the AI Kenya website, we have an engage section, and then we have a mentorship section. So if you go there, you can be able to apply as a speaker, and then we will get back to you and onboard you as a speaker. We would like to know how this particular event was, what we did right and what we did wrong. So in the chat section, we are going to share a link where people can share their feedback. The link is already in the chat section, but we'll also share this feedback form on email for those who attended. So it's a very quick Google form where you just get to share your feedback on the event. But that's it for today. Thank you very much for attending, and we hope to see you at the next event. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. So see you next month during our next event.